What transpired during Papoose and Claressa Shields' alleged private wedding is right out of a Tyler Perry meets Zeus Network fever dream. Oh, you thought the drama had ended, but we're just getting started. When you combine a championship boxer, a bitter ex, a flying wig, a screaming Remy Ma, and a wedding that was never intended to be public with chaos, betrayal, and enough tension to black out all 5 boroughs of New York, what do you get? The worst part is that Remy Ma didn't just crash the ceremony, she absolutely shook it. Claressa appeared before the guests as though it were a WWE main event, while Papoose stood there looking like a fallen soldier with a lace front left behind, his Wi-Fi disabled, leaked footage, and secret invites. You won't believe what actually happened behind those velvet wedding drapes. Stay put because what we're about to discover may be the most outrageous celebrity ambush of the year. Let's go back in time and retell this messy fairy tale, since it doesn't begin with once upon a time. Instead, it begins with Remy Ma not being invited. Now imagine a silent, dimly lit ballroom tucked away. The bride, Claressa Shields, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and recent reality TV firecracker, and the groom, Papoose, the self-declared king of loyalty, are located in the hills just outside of Atlanta. Candlelight flickers, violins play, and guests whisper compliments about the bride's dress. Everything looks too perfect, but in the world of hip-hop royalty, if everything seems calm, a storm is always nearby. So we thought, let's talk about why this wedding was kept a secret in the first place. Hold on to. According to our anonymous caterer with Wi-Fi, Remy Ma is far away. But this isn't just any ex-wife, this is Bronx royalty. She did a 7-year bid and still walked out in heels with a recording contract. Let's just say Remy didn't take it well when she showed up without warning, without an RSVP, with only red heels, a trench coat, and a mission. According to sources, she walked past security and told an usher about the wedding after discovering it through a private Snap story shared by a mutual friend who forgot to hide it from her. "Don't touch me. I've got history with the groom," she declared and stormed into that ballroom like it was the final round of a rap battle. Claressa was holding a champagne flute and a microphone during the toast when the music stopped, causing gasps from the audience and one bridesmaid to say, "Oh no, she's here." According to witnesses, Remy initially said nothing as she approached the stage, locked eyes with Papoose, turned to face Claressa, and then let out the wig snatch that was broadcast all over the world. Before you dismiss it as overblown, let me clarify that it is true. A video that was released online after being removed from TikTok due to graphic hair drama depicts Remy grabbing Claressa by the lace front and yelling, "You thought I wouldn't find out." The guests hurried to record from behind the centerpieces. But let's pause because, even though this all sounds like it was scripted by Mona Scott Young, it gets worse. The man who once rapped, "I'll never let them disrespect my queen," just stood there, his mouth frozen, holding the ring box slightly open, as if it were evidence in a criminal case. Our crew was informed by one of the guests that it was like his soul left the building. He was buffering in real life. With her wig in one hand and her pride in the other, Claressa, who is, let's not forget, a skilled fighter, did not even swing. Instead, she stood there murmuring to her maid of honor, "Get my purse or maybe get my gloves." Furthermore, there was no security because in reality, this is where it goes from drama to dark humor. According to an insider, the team went out to enjoy the vegan buffet while they were reportedly on break. According to a guest who is purportedly Papoose's cousin, Remy lifted her glass after the wig steal, glanced across the astonished room, and remarked, "To loyalty, may it rest in peace." I mean, Shakespeare who? One of the guests fainted, another attempted to live stream the event, but discovered her phone was still in selfie mode. And Claressa's sister had officially begun the 5 stages of grieving: shock, denial, anger, bargaining, and of course, getting ready to call someone out later. But wait, this mess wasn't finished marinating just when you thought it couldn't be much worse. Remy takes out a manila envelope. It contains, presumably, screenshots of some light paperwork. A guest in the second row remarks, Hello, welcome to the Proof Olympics. Remy waved the documents and said, "You've been sneaking around since last August. You told me it was about boxing, you didn't say it was this kind of ring." And then the room burst into whispers. Let's take another moment to reflect that this was the turning point. It was no longer just about a wig. It was about timelines of betrayal and a man who declared two women to be his forever. To make matters worse, the wedding DJ unintentionally live-streamed the entire event. He forgot to turn off his Twitch channel, and before Claressa could even fix her edges, the video appeared on Instagram. It was reposted by Shade Room, Lipstick Alley, and yes, even a parody Twitter account posing as Remy's Chihuahua. Remy turned to go, flipping her hair like a curtain call, and just as she did, Papoose blinked. Let's talk about that blink because after standing motionless like a wax figure at Madame Tussauds, Papoose finally blinked. But instead of sprinting to break up the altercation or comfort his new bride, he did something that made the entire ballroom gasp louder than Claressa. When her wig was lifted, he approached Remy. Yes, you heard correctly, it was not Claressa, but Remy. Now look, we've seen some messy post-breakup reunions in our time, but this was love and hip-hop, the resurrection. According to an anonymous guest who claimed to have lip-reading experience from watching a lot of reality television. "I told you I wasn't ready," Papoose murmured. "But they pushed this wedding without me." Wait a minute, they pushed the wedding. Who are they? Claressa, her team, her manager, her hairstylist, and the wedding planner. Rumors had been circulating for weeks that Claressa was hurrying to wrap things up before more drama involving Remy surfaced, and it turns out that this private ceremony might not have been as mutual as those gold-plated invitations implied. "Get that manila envelope, please." Claressa stood there, one lash hanging loose, trying to make sense of what had happened as Remy dropped it on the floor. Papoose picked it up, but instead of giving it to her or throwing it in the trash, he clutched onto it as if it were a lost record of the truth. Someone from the groom's side shouted, "This is why you don't do backyard weddings with industry people," as the bridesmaids were in disarray. And the violinist silently in the corner whispered to himself as he packed things, "I played for this." Then, all of a sudden, one of Claressa's cousins, let's call her Cantor with the curls, lunged at Remy, setting the internet on fire. Oh, you thought it was over. However, Remy remained unconcerned, sidestepping as if it were staged, and clapping back, "Touch me and I'll drop more screenshots." This escalated into a full-on Bronx versus Flint showdown in the middle of a $60,000 reception hall. The DJ continued to play Beyoncé's Best Thing I Never Had on repeat, as if it were a breakup anthem sent from above, and the press was not to be overlooked because by the time the wig was back on, half of the guests had left the cake untouched. Iconic security finally arrived 40 minutes late and panting, trying to defuse the situation, but let's face it, that's like trying to put out a house fire with a bottle of spring water. As soon as the snatching video went viral, jokes about wild-out weddings began to circulate more quickly than the drinks were going down. On Twitter, Remy actually remarked, "Speak now or forever, snatch this lace." Claressa spent her entire life training for battles, but she neglected to train her guest list. Then came the questionable texts, which, as you may recall, were screenshots allegedly showing Claressa contacting Papoose, while the most damning was a purported direct message from Claressa that said, "She won't be around forever, let me show you loyalty." Another thread alleged that Claressa had a burner Instagram where she used to like Papoose's pictures prior to the divorce being finalized. Remy was still living in the house at the time. Yikes. Just as the internet was pulling people in all directions, Remy Ma disappeared. She fled the wedding like it was a scene from a movie script, got into a black SUV, and allegedly tossed a rolled-up wig in the process. Unconcerned with the hairline situation, but this is where things get juicier, sources claimed she didn't go home. But a valet worker said that Remy's driver took a detour to a hotel only 10 minutes from the venue. Guess what hotel? It's the same hotel where Papoose and Claressa were supposed to spend their wedding night. Hold on, what are we talking about? A post-wedding confrontation, secret meeting, and reconciliation attempt because what happened next shocked everyone. By the end of the night, Papoose never showed up, and Claressa was reportedly at the hotel by herself. In an attempt to control her emotions, Remy Ma posted a mysterious Instagram story that night that featured a black screen and the words, "Truth always wins in the end." She also tried to figure out how to remove the wedding hashtag from her Instagram bio, which included no groom or honeymoon suite, just a white dress that was broken and a missing manila envelope. In the comment area, admirers flocked to her DMs, begging for receipts, and even Cardi B added, "Darn sis, now I need popcorn and a therapist."